Great. Thank you, John. And as I asked, we like to hold questions until the panel discussion. So next, I'd like to ask Dr. Thomas Scott to come on up to the podium and discuss the next steps and criteria in spatial repellents.
Is this working now? The microphone working? There we go. Okay. Nicole asked me to give you an overview of what the process would be of assessing a new product like a spatial repellent. So I'm going to do that from the perspective of the WHO criteria. So I'm going to start with sort of a general presentation. If you had a new product, what would the process that you would need to go through, what would that be? And I will eventually get to the point to show you how spatial repellents fit into that. So vector-borne diseases are a huge, it's a growing problem. 80% of the world's population is at risk. 17 to 20% of the estimated burden of global diseases is attributable to vector-borne diseases, and there's over 700,000 deaths. There's some common tools that we've used over the years for malaria, things like insecticide-treated nets, indoor residual spraying for arboviruses, space sprays, and larvicides. But we need new tools. There's considerable new problems that are challenging us now, like expanding vector populations, transmission in urban settings, or if we want to try to eliminate a disease. Insecticide resistance is a growing and significant problem. And there's new and emerging arboviral or vector-borne diseases. So these challenges have stimulated researchers and people to develop new innovations. I've been doing this for over 45 years, and what we're going through right now, I'm seeing the most innovation in vector control than I've seen in my career. So it's really an exciting period of time. Well, we need to have some independent way of assessing these products. What effect do they have, and in particular from a public health impact in terms of reducing infection and/or disease. So countries that would uptake these new products have some sense of what they can get if they decide that they want to purchase them and use them. So WHO is in the business of developing an evidence base so that they can inform their member states on how they could use these products most effectively. And the Vector Control Advisory Group, or VCAG, is an advisory body to WHO. And they deal with new tools, technologies, and approaches for vector control. And what they do is they help them to assess the public health value of these new interventions, and then provide some guidance on how they could be best used or deployed. Now VCAG defines public health value as proven protective efficacy to reduce or prevent infection and/or disease in humans. As vector biologists, for a long time, we've really primarily focused on showing that there was an entomological effect. But what we're really interested in is preventing disease. So now what the advocacy is for is to go beyond entomological impact and show that there's a reduction in infection or disease in humans. VCAG is a cross-department collaboration at WHO. It includes the Global Malaria Program, the Department for Control of Neglected Tropical Diseases, and the WHO pre-qualification team for vector control products. And this is a figure that shows the flow. If you submit an application to VCAG or to the WHO, what the flow is. So I'll walk you through it. So initially, you'd interact with the Secretariat. You'd fill out an application, and that would go to a pre-submission coordination team, and that's made up of the Secretariat. So the members of VCAG don't participate in this process. So it's people at WHO, at pre-qualification, global malaria, and neglected tropical diseases, and they make a call as to whether or not what you're submitting fits into a product class for which there already exists a policy. If there does, then you go up to this part of the figure. The pre-qualification team, which is noted here with this yellowish color, would then assess the product's safety, quality, efficacy, And an additional thing that they're going to be doing is inspecting the manufacturing facilities to ensure quality of the product. Then after the safety